Hello anyone, everyone, and no one. Welcome back to another Minecraft Bedrock Edition tutorial. Now today's tutorial is going to be a bit on the different side. This is something that I've never done before. But my friend right here,
Beep, cut.
But my friend here, MadHatter, has come up with something of the likes of which I haven't seen before on Bedrock. Now, this thing right here, Hatter, do you want to explain? Let's ignore all the attempts of where we attempted to record this tutorial, okay? Let's go back over here to the beginning. And do you want to explain to the people what you've got going on over here?
So, the other day, Slack was on stream talking about, hey, I like to have my ender chest nice and sorted. Everything needs to be nice and beautiful. And I thought we could have a big, beautiful sorting system that does multi-item sorting that is one wide and tileable. And then I looked and there isn't one. So spent late night building this contraption, which is one wide tileable multi-item sorter. That's exactly the shape of an end chest.
It's very unique, I'll say the least. I can already see where a couple people are going to yell here. That's a lot of observers.
You know, it really isn't. If we come over here, that's everything.
Well, that's not too bad. I mean, you got, less than a stack of powered rails, some dust, glass blocks, some building blocks, because obviously iron is not required in this build. A few torches, some observers, comparators, repeaters, droppers, a little bit on the hoppers, and some chests. That wasn't necessarily where I was going to go with that, okay? I do got a question for you, though, okay? Observers in Bedrock Edition have this tendency to be buggy, right?
Yeah, they do. They do. The interesting thing about the way this one works is it actually works by the machine is only running when the observer is pulsed. So if the observer pulses, it'll just click one item through the filter. It's not really continuously looking for updates. It's waiting for a clock to trigger, and it only runs when the clock triggers.
Okay, another notorious problem with Bedrock Edition sorters. Either items getting stuck in the elevators, or they break when they unload. How does this do?
So I've unloaded this about 50-60 times. I came on this realm which we're on. I spawned about 50-60 turtles and then had them pathfind, which destroys realms right now. And it never really missed an item. I have yet to see it miss an item that was not missing from the sorter. So like everything gets in where it's supposed to go.
So you're trying to tell me that if I were to grab, let's say here, end crystals right here, and I were to put these in here, and I were to unload this, log out, log back in, and or have a ton of lag, that it does not miss those?
I have tried to get it to miss them. I've logged out while it's sorting. I've gone to the nether. Well, there's another portal behind us. I spawned 50 turtles, made them pathfind. The downside of this system is it's a bit slow, but that's slow and reliable.
I can deal with slow if it's reliable. If it's reliable, dude, there's no clicks.
There is no clicks. That was a long, hard project where me and another member of your Discord, Taz, spent looking for a way to make a silent sorting.
And as a matter of fact, they are starting to pump in here right now. And if we go to the overflow chest here, there's dust in the chest. I thought you said it didn't miss stuff. There's dust. Do
you see dust in the sorter?
Ooh, I didn't. Right, I retract my previous statement. This thing is designed, more or less, to be the equivalent of an end chest. You know, dude, that excites me. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Dude, you could use this as a shulker box loader. Dude, you could use whatever you wanted here. You could use barrels, you could use shulkers. You could even come out so far as to put another chest on here and make this double chest, couldn't you?
You can make a double chest, absolutely.
You know, what's going to happen in this video here is just going to be a basic run-through tutorial. We are going to build one of these modules here. But to be honest with you, we can't cover every bit of the mechanics here today, can we, Hatter?
Oh, no, it gets pretty deep if we want to go into the details.
Yeah, I've tried to ask him multiple times to explain all this to me, why this has to be this many ticks, why this has to be that many ticks. And he wants to start showing stuff, and yeah, that's just a lot. That's just a lot. Plus, not only can this thing be scaled up from this, but you can twist this around. You can make this thing a lot bigger, right?
Yep, I've got a world where I'm working on that right now. So later I'll be putting a video on my channel for how this works and how to make it yours and yours alone.
Yes, yes. So as a matter of fact, I would, as I said, recommend you going and checking out MadHatter's channel. This is just going to be a basic tutorial out there trying to help a buddy out there get known and get shown for what he's known. Because this is really amazing. This is really amazing. And I've seen a glimpse at this other world that he's been working on with multiples of these all linked together with this thing literally reaching up into the sky. It's pretty mad. Dude, you're really going to live up to your name with MadHatter. I'm just saying. You really do some good stuff with redstone. But yes, if you want to see, as I said, a more in-depth tutorial on this and how the mechanics on all this work, make sure to go check him out.
So, this is one of those things that you can chunk line. You keep it all in one nice little neat chunk. It's a 14 by 14 build, and we're going to go to the back corner. It's 4 blocks below where your floor is going to be. So, 4 blocks of redstone, then your floor. So, back corner. 2 blocks over, we're going to go down 10. Then we're going to put redstone dust across the top. And then we're going to go up. And if I was in survival, I'd pillar up. And then place an observer on the redstone dust looking down. Then we're going to come back with blocks that we want to leave in permanently. And I do recommend using something that isn't naturally generating, because if you put it on dirt, you're going to break the dirt next time you come around, and then you'll be sad. So here's the so now we're going to put a temporary block on the back. This temporary block is where we're going to place a couple of rails that'll help us align our powered rails. So I'm going to place 2 rails. And I'm going to put redstone rail. Then 2 more rails, and redstone rail. So now we're going to break out the temporary blocks and break out the temporary rails. Those are there so that if you build it north-south, east-west, the rails won't snap and cause you lots and lots of pain. Anybody who's worked with rails, you've had that pain before. Next step we're going to do is we're going to take observers and face these powered rails, and we're going to come back to observer. Now we're going to place another set of permanent blocks on the back of these observers. So next step we're going to do is place permanent blocks on top of this observer, and then redstone torches across the front of these permanent blocks. Comparators facing into those blocks. Then we place some droppers down. Okay. Now, at this point, this is kind of the tricky one to place in the build. We go up, and we're going to place an observer straight down. And then we're going to walk these observers. So now, these were just temporary, so you could see how you can get that observer in when you're in survival. Now we're going to place 2 observers straight back on each of these observer. Yeah. Yep. And then we'll place permanent blocks here. And then we're going to go up with droppers. I don't recommend going straight up with the droppers all the way to the top right away, because when you're placing them in, they get in your way. So I usually try to work from this side of the build back, because the observers almost all face the back of the build. So I'm going to go up 2 here at a time, because in survival that is convenient. And then fill these 2 in. Then go up 2 droppers. And then place permanent blocks in here. And repeat once more. So we're going to go back down to the bottom of our machine. So we're going to place our input hopper line. It comes off of the furthest left dropper, and it goes back 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yep. And then out of the, you're going to skip one space, and out of the rest of them, we're going to go back 5. Now, this is another part where we're going to place some temporary rails. And these rails are to help us if we build it on a different direction. Because we have powered rails going both north, south, and east, west, one of these sets of temporary rails will be required, and the other one would be optional. But I'm going to teach you to build it with both sets of temporary rails in, so you don't get confused when your build is rotated a little bit. And permanent blocks here. A temporary block here. On these edges. Temporary block on this edge. And then normal rail, and bring your redstone rails across. Now, at the end, we're going to have observers facing every single rail. So I'm going to start putting those in because there's something you can stand on while you're building the rest of the circuit. And then permanent blocks. And then we have to put 2 temporary blocks and 2 temporary rails over here again, both sides. Always do them first, because after you put in a couple of powered rails, you will start distorting things below, and then you have to tear it down and start again if you don't have the temporary rails in. Now that the powered rails are in, we pull out the temporary. Alright, so now we're going to come over to this side, and this side has an extra sorter on it. So we're going to place a permanent block here, temporary block here, and then we're going to keep going up on this side. So this side you're going to want to probably build with scaffolding because you don't have a floor. And I know that I just tore out these temporary rails. That was a little bit of an oversight. If we had built this previously, we wouldn't need to have torn out those temporary rails. And you'll notice there's no dropper behind here. That's because this is going to go to this is our last sorter, and it'll go to the overflow chest or the unsorted chest. So now we're going to fill in an observer wall. So now we're going to place a temporary block here, and then a block that is going to be part of your floor. So every block here will show through the bottom of your chest. And we're going to go one past the hopper line. Make sure that this is whatever you want in the long term. If you don't want to be the same as your back blocks, go ahead and make it whatever you want. Now, the next thing that we're going to do is we're going to place our chests. These could be chests, these could be barrels, these could be whatever you want. I'm placing chests here because I think a lot of people will build it with chests. Now, that should be our 9x3 chest wall. Next thing that you're going to do is you're going to place hoppers into all of these chests. and into that solid floor block. The next step we're going to do is we're going to fill in every single one of these observers with a torch. It's kind of like painting. Just make sure you don't miss any observers or the sorter will skip.
Happy little painting, just a happy little paint.
Now we're going to place some blocks that a chest can open into. So I'm going to choose glass blocks. You can choose stair blocks, choose slabs, whatever you want to place here.
Sorter, do what you want to do.
It is your sorter. Do what you want. We're going to place 2 rows of them. Now, we're going to place hoppers into the glass block, or whatever blocks you put there. They have to face into it, otherwise it will cause some skips. Okay, so now we're going to hook up our item sorters to our item elevator. The way that this works is we come off of the side of the first one and we go straight back. And this connects to this one. Now we come off of the second one and we make an S pattern and we come straight back. We're going to keep doing that until the S pattern would be crossing over the next dropper. That'll be the next one over here. Now we're going to bring this item elevator a couple blocks higher. This item elevator is going to connect to the next hopper and allows us to circumvent this jam that we get in the corner here. We're going to bring up the glass blocks too. Put the hopper into the glass block. Turn the corner and come straight back. We're going to copy the pattern that we used for the item elevator before. And then permanent blocks. Now we're going to do the same S pattern we've been doing all along. Over one, come back. Now all we have left to do is to wire in the clock and the start circuits and the shutdown circuit. So the way we do that is we come down here where we started, place a block there, and a redstone dust, place the repeater on 4 ticks, go back 4 redstone dust, place a permanent block, place a redstone torch, and then a repeater on 4 ticks facing into that block, a repeater on 4 ticks facing into that repeater, another repeater on 4 ticks facing back, and then final repeater on 4 ticks facing that way. Now we're going to place a permanent block here and a redstone dust next to it. And that's going to start our clock. And that will run all of our item elevators. So next thing we're going to do, place a block here with a torch on the face. This is our turn off circuit. We'll place 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. These are what control the height of the item elevator. If you have a taller item elevator, you'll need more comparators. If you have a shorter item elevator, you'll need less comparators. Or you can use the same comparators, just be a little bit slower. Now we're going to turn around and we're going to place comparators going backwards. And a redstone dust here. 2 redstone dusts here. Now we're going to do our Keepalive circuit. I'm going to put a piece of redstone dust there. 2 comparators. Turn around. We'll do 2 comparators this way. And a permanent block there. Then you notice that we're underneath of our item elevators here. That means things are going well. We're going to put a line of blocks that goes the entire distance of our item elevators. And a block here to prevent the wires from connecting. Now we're going to come redstone dust this way, redstone dust there, and then a repeater here, and set this one on 4 ticks. It's really important that this one's on 4 ticks. If it's not on 4 ticks, the entire thing will glitch and fall apart and start clicking and a bunch of ugliness happens. So make sure that's on 4 ticks. And then the last piece of redstone dust we need is here for the Keepalive circuit. Now that's our Keepalive circuit and our pulse extender for the item element. Okay, now we're going to come over here and we're going to add our starting circle. So we're going to face an observer straight up and then put a comparator on top of it. Take our hopper line back, turn the corner, go up, and then put our input chest here. I use a trapped chest. You can use whichever one you want. So under the observer, we're going to place a permanent block. Underneath, we're going to come off by 1. And then we're going to go straight across back to here. Put a redstone dust here with a block on top. A repeater on 4 ticks. This one has to be on 4 ticks, otherwise, again, you'll get some pulsing and some clicking and it won't make you very happy. Redstone dust goes all the way down this line. So that's our turn-on circuit, and we just need to add the redstone for the item sorters now. This is another observer. It goes on over top of this repeater with a piece of redstone dust on top of it. And then a line of blocks straight back here. And it should end just past this powered rail. Now we're going to go back to where we placed this redstone. And we're going to put a repeater on 4 ticks, a repeater on 3 ticks, and a repeater on 4 ticks. This repeater on 3 ticks is the only one in the entire build on something other than 4 ticks. Okay, so now we're going to go back up to finish this. Right here is where we're sneaking the redstone through. We're going to put an observer there, a solid block, redstone dust, and then some glass. This one's temporary. That one's going to be there permanently. Put some glass up like that and 2 pieces of redstone dust. This side's finished. So let's go over to the other side. While we're going to the other side, we're going to connect up the redstone dust. And we're going to put an observer facing straight down onto this redstone dust. And then this one has dust on its back. Temporary block, glass block. And we're just going to staircase up. And that is the entire thing done.
So at this point, this thing is pretty much done and dusted then, isn't it, Hatter?
Yeah, you know, off camera we went through and did the little bit of grindy part where you and I chose items to put in a bunch of the chests.
Except for that chest down there, which has absolutely nothing. Just don't look at that. We'll go ahead and put something in there. A key thing with this system here is if you've never used a multi-item sorter before, there's a couple do's and don'ts. One of the first do's is make sure that you fill up every one of these slots. If not, you are going to end up with something random in here. So let's go by example here. Okay, let's say you were in here and you wanted to grab yourself out some stone bricks. Right there, you see that? Stone bricks. If you were to grab that and walk away, that spot is now going to become viable for any item that gets fed into the system. So if we were to just throw cut sandstone in here, and cut sandstone is literally right after that, it's going to fill up that spot there. So one of the key things to remember with these kind of systems here is to always at least leave one item in there. So if you go to grab something out of here, so let's say you've got cobble here, always just pick it up, drop one back down, and that's it. And I mean, that's it. This system is completely done here. It's nice, it's tileable, it's silent. And then if we just throw everything in here from our inventory where we just set all that up there, the beauty of this being a trap chest, yeah, it doesn't pull items until we genuinely close up the chest here. Now, is this thing a super duper fast? No. No, it's not the fastest thing in the world. But at this point, from all the testing that has been done, it is reliable. It is reliable and it is silent. More testing is due, and if you have any problems with this thing, please do leave a comment down below. And if you want to talk to the madman himself back there, Mr. Hatter himself, make sure to check out his channel. This dude also likes to hang out in my Discord as well, so if you do have any direct questions for him that I cannot answer in the comments or that he does not see in the comments, make sure to join the Discord. Ain't that right, Hatter? You'll be glad to answer any questions related to this thing, right, buddy?
Yeah, come talk to me in the Discord. Let me know.
Yeah. He's like, yes, bring on all your questions. But I think that's just about where I'm going to wrap up this tutorial here. I have high hopes for this. I hope that you can find some use out of this. And like I said, if you need any more information about this, feel free to join the Discord and ask or drop your comments down below. But from me and Hatter, that's just about where we're going to wrap it up today. So if you enjoyed today's video, make sure to drop a like. If you'd like to see more, please subscribe. And also, while you're at it, go subscribe to MadHatter as well. And on that note, we will catch all of you all next time. Bye!
Bye!